Hey guys, this is CJ. My first YouTube video. Thought I'd show you guys my canopy conversion I made on a 20-gallon long. And the thing is, when you're making a cage, you can make a Rubbermaid container suitable enough to, contain an inhabitant at whatever species you can form it to. I just wanted something to look nice. I just have this wood box I built for very cheap on a 20-gallon long that I got for free, and built some dividers in there. This is my subfloor, forest subfloor I made, multi-terrain, and I built the wood box here. I built the wood box. I don't know if you could see, but it just sits right on the edge of the tank, both sides. Door kind of holds it in there on the lip. Works out pretty good. I just wanted something to be nice to also look at and have easy accessibility, the screen for air movement. Go down to my bottom here, my subfloor, and I have a little fish tank side I made, little Aqueon filter, little tank heater. There's a Zoo Med floating dock in there. The lighting is really bad down here. Zoo Med floating dock. Some plants. I got a snail in here. Everything seems to move from this side and cross this side and go into my pond side. I don't know if it's the running water they sense. They seem to like I don't know if it's the shallower water, but like my shrimp there, if you can see them. I have another shrimp, but they hide out in the Reptile filter I have. So I have my land side, some hydrotin, biomesh, plantation soil, got a little hide in there. Got some pothos, got some plants coming down on the bottom, a little bit of moss. If you see back there, there's a vine wrapped around a hose and an air line running in. I have a jar. There's a jar inside here with some holes in the bottom where the jar shares the water with what's underneath the hydrogen. And in that jar, I have an ultrasonic fogger. And I have that line, and it runs 24/7 to, kind of help keep this water level down. It doesn't really do much. I still have to siphon out of there. But it comes up into the middle of my enclosure and fogs in the middle of my enclosure. This fog you see now is off of my Reptifogger because it's the timer set. It's set to go off right now. So, and then I have in my pond side Reptifilter. It's got an 80-gallon-per-hour pump in there. Got some substrate, snails, a couple shrimp, kind of keep it clean. I got an African clawed frog in there, or African dwarf frog, whatever it is. It was just a cheap thing at Petco. I figured I'd throw in there, feed it. And then as far as my upper canopy, forest canopy I put on top of this 20-gallon long, what I did is this was originally just a wood box, plain, no sealers. It was just raw wood. I ran, and then I got my critters. I got a veiled in here and a White's tree frog in here. It was raw wood. I was trying to get up to the humidity, and I was just running into mold. So what I did is I painted everything black. Everything's black and sealer. I just used spray paint, silicone some edges, and ran a sealer on it, a Vivarium sealer. I came in on my wooden shelves I had. These shelves were originally just wood, and I came in with some styrofoam and some spray foam, carved it to look like rocks, grouted it up, did my spray foam background, siliconed it, put some substrate on there. Make sure your substrate's dry when you do this, otherwise you're going to miss some spots. For here on some of the spots, I mixed a substrate with a brown silicone, made a putty. Stuff's real strong, real waterproof, holds up real well. Put some mosses in there. See Mo Bay right there. You can hear Lido. I think Lido's a girl, but that croaking kind of throws me off. So, and then I have some cork rounds in there. I have some pothos growing out of this cork round here. A bunch of the grouted shelves I did, a lot of them. Big one in the back here. I'll show you guys the other side. There's my whites. It's the morning, they're waiting for food. I'm gonna feed them here in a minute. Got my misters up top. Gotta have rain. I got my rain set up 4 times a day, 45 seconds a cycle. I got my fog set up 8 times a day, 26 minutes a cycle. I want to get a different timer so I can run it more, say 12 times a day for less time, just to kind of spread out the times of humidity increase. Got some moss in here. I did put some heat rocks on the back just as kind of, I don't know, just to be there. When I first built this cage, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to have in here. I just know I wanted something arboreal. So I did put the heat rocks in. I have the heat rock in the back there. And I have the heat rock on the shelf here. It was mounted to the back like the other one too, but when I did the spray foam background, I ran out of room. So when you guys are doing your spray foam backgrounds, make sure you guys compensate for stuff like that. So you guys, if you see, there's the see the clear hose from my ultrasonic fogger down bottom. It comes up behind here. You can see it back there. I got a vine wrapped around it. And it comes all the way up, and you can see where it ends right there. 24 hours a day, it runs. Just a little bit of fog coming out of there. Just it's kind of a more of a constant humidity thing. And then, you know, the Reptifogger just dumps out there. And I'll show you guys that. I'll go over my rain and my fog, and then we can go over, you know, lights and stuff. So I have Reptifogger. Looks like I need to refill it. Set up on this timer. Like I said, it's 8 cycles a day, 26 minutes a cycle. It uses that bottle up every couple of days. What's nice about the Reptifogger is this is just a PVC fitting, so you can hard plumb onto the Reptifilter if you'd like. I just have vinyl hose coming up. Goes all the way up to the top, and see how I hooked it back up to PVC again. I got a little manifold where it dumps out. I can change the fittings and make it dump out wherever I want. I just got it running right to the center right now. And that's my fog. Now my rain, I have 800 gallon per hour pump, hard lined in on some vinyl tubing. That I use some RO water in. I got my timer it's set up on here. I got it hard plumbed into the back, and you see my fogger line, and then this one is my rain line. On the inside of the rain line, I got a little splitter head in there. You can see it, I don't know if you see it through the fog, but it's got 4 little nozzles coming off where I got my 1/4 inch line. Got my 1/4 inch line where it comes around. I have a tee off on this mister, and then I have a couple more misters right there. I'm experimenting with different types of heads right now, trying to get the right mist. So that's my rain. That's 4 cycles a day, 45 seconds a cycle. I don't want to flood out the bottom because if I run that rain too long, I get my hydro tin, it'll fill up. Right now it's about right here, so I got a little bit more. When it gets too full, I siphon it out, and what's crazy, when I siphon this down, that ultrasonic fogger actually puts out more fog. So I like to keep this down a little bit. I was hoping the ultrasonic fogger would burn up as much as the Reptifogger, and you know, so I wouldn't have to cycle or siphon this stuff out at all, but I do have to still siphon it out. That's as far as that. The Reptifilter stuff hides in it. I got Lido trying to escape right now. Shut this up. He's hungry, so he's probably saying, "Feed me." That is my canopy conversion. Now, I feel really bad that I didn't get to do a DIY video on this. But like I said, I built this in regular wood and didn't paint it, didn't seal it, didn't foam the background, nothing. I had my guys in there, wasn't getting the humidity, had to put them in a temporary cage. And I was on a very, very, very fast deadline to get this done. So I didn't have, anybody to hold the camera for me. I was staying up all night trying to get this done, and it took me a couple weeks just to do the foam background, the grout, the sealers, everything like that. I did this setup for fairly inexpensive. I mean, I still have enough wood left over from this to build my other canopy conversion that I'm going to work on once I'm done with my inverted conversion. Here we're going to go to the lights. I have the Zoom Ed Dual Deep, and in the left side I got my basking area on the left. On the right I got a Tropical 5.0 bulb, and then in this deep dish hanging off the front I have the Desert 10.0 bulb. So I do have the full spectrum lighting. I wanted to get my plants to take off a little bit, and then in that other hood I just have my night light, and that is pretty much it. I was able to utilize with this mesh these bird perches where I got at Petco, and they're like $7 a piece, but they really let me kind of expand into some space here. I also, when I did the foam, I lost a lot of space. So when I had these shelves, now I only got, I could just fit my hand in here. So I did lose a lot of space that way. The shelves are coming out, quite a bit. These were 4-inch wood shelves, and now that once I carved them into rock and grouted them and sealed them, it took up quite a bit more space. So I have the bird perches here. Also, what I like to use for my feeder dishes is I have some bird feeder dishes. They just wing nut in on the mesh. The guys are getting real used to these, so when they see these, they know where to go for food and everything. Got some mosses in the back. I'm ordering up some tree fern. And on here, like I said, make sure the substrate's dry when you put it on the silicone, because it won't stick all the way. I don't know if you can see the shiny spots on there. That's where the substrate didn't stick. I'm going to cut strips of tree fern, and I'm going to grow some moss on the spots where the substrate didn't really adhere to the silicone. I have a regular gauge in here, temp and humidity gauge, that I kind of move around wherever I want, because I cut a hole in my mesh and did this. They sent me one in Celsius. But this thing, on the end of the probe, water drips off the end of the probe and seals it up. It never is accurate. This is saying 54% humidity, and I have the probe at the end of this branch, and right almost next to it is this probe, or this gauge. I just had the fogger running, so it's going to read a little high, but that's it reading at 80% humidity there. So I guess I can maybe go off of in between, but I don't know if I should believe that one at all. I have another one of these coming in Fahrenheit, just so I can kind of be sure, and see the water droplets, like I said, build up in it, and sometimes it reads super high because the water's right at the end of the probe, and sometimes it reads super low because the water's plugging the probe. So it's the design on the probe I don't like. I think it's kind of stupid. I wish I didn't cut the hole in my mesh to put this thing in. That is my canopy conversion. I'm doing inverted conversion on a 20-gallon tank, and I will show you guys some of the methods I used, like in the grout. I'll show you guys the silicone, the foam background I did, the silicone procedure I did. I'll even show you guys the putty I made. This putty, I just mixed brown silicone and plantation soil, and see if I can find this piece of it here. this stuff, when I drilled the hole in the back where this putty's located, when I drilled the hole for that manifold, I got this piece of where I did the putty. Now this putty, the brown silicone and the plantation soil, I don't know if it'll focus in on that. See how thick it is? Holds up real well. It's almost like a waterproof cork material, flexible, holds up really nice. There is a sealer on top of this stuff too. The silicone plantation soil with just a quick, one coat of sealer, Varathane sealer. It holds up really nice. I'm definitely going to use that mix a lot more. And that is the Canopy conversion on a 20-gallon long. So I will have more videos for you guys. This is my first YouTube video, so hopefully maybe you guys can help me out, and hopefully this video will help out some others.